Greg Ehrenberg from OddsShopper here to break down another NBA slate. And guys, we've been rolling as of late. I really do love and appreciate all the support I've been getting from you guys. And all you have to do to support me is like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Any questions or comments that you guys have for me, just leave them below. I'll be checking them out later in the day. I'll be answering them. And it is just little stuff like that that helps us out a whole bunch in the YouTube algorithm and helps us continue to put out free content like this. So always appreciated. And then also, like I said, always nice when we're winning the bets as well. And it's been a really good run as of late. And yesterday, went 2-1 on our bets, a couple of winning bets. Mikal Bridges over 3.5 rebounds. I feel like he's being undervalued now in this role he has with the Nets. He's going to play a bunch of minutes. He's going to play a massive role with this team. He hit that over fairly easily. We had Walker Kessler over 1.5 blocks. 2 slates in a row, we've hit over 1.5 blocks for Walker Kessler. He actually hit the over in the first quarter of this game. So he did get into foul trouble, played limited minutes, but whatever. It didn't matter. Hit the over on that prop 2 slates in a row. We hit the over on 1.5 Walker Kessler blocks. I have a feeling that will not be the last time we bet that one either this year. The one losing bet, I took a chance on the Rockets plus 13.5 points. Ultimately, ended up being a fairly shitty bet. The reasoning there was that Joel Embiid was listed as questionable. I thought he was going to be rested in that game, and he wasn't. Joel Embiid just apparently never sits out games, even though he's always listed as questionable. So that was a bad read by me, and it was one that I was on the wrong side of. Took a chance on something I thought was going to happen. Didn't end up going. But either way, 3 bets. We went 2-1, and no complaints there. So hopefully we could keep that going. But in addition to that, I had another bet that I threw into our Discord channel. I had Spencer Dinwiddie to score more points than RJ Barrett, and this one was also another wash. And at halftime, actually, Dinwiddie had 20 points. RJ Barrett had 0. So it was one that in Discord channel we were celebrating fairly early. It was a fun bet that we all ended up winning together. If you guys want in on the Discord channel, your first week is 50% off when you sign up using the link that we have below. So go check that out, especially if you want some additional bets for myself. And like I said, we have been running pretty well as of late. But let's talk about the Tuesday NBA slate. There's only 5 games, but I do think there's value. These are my favorite bets. So my first bet of the day to start us off here, I have Chris Paul for under 1.5 threes. We've got Devin Booker back for the Phoenix Suns. Now, that's just going to take away from Chris Paul in a pretty significant way. And as is, it's not like he's shooting a whole bunch, and especially not shooting a whole bunch of threes. So it's a good matchup against the Phoenix Suns, but I'm just really wary of what we're going to see from Chris Paul in terms of a 3-point volume standpoint. So just look at the recent games for Chris Paul, because, by the way, over the last 2 weeks, covering 6 games, he's actually only averaging 0.5 threes made per game. And in those games, he's not made multiple threes in any of them. He made 1 3 against the Pacers, 0 against the Hawks, 1 against the Nets, 0 against the Pistons, 1 against the Celtics, and then 0 again against the Hawks there. So 6 games, he's not hit multiple threes in any of them. Only 3 made threes total over those 6 games for Chris Paul. And now Devin Booker back in the picture. Booker totally healthy. That's going to take away even more usage and more touches away from Chris Paul. So my first bet of the day, I like Chris Paul for under 1.5 threes. Based on what he's currently doing from a 3-point shooting perspective, I think the line should be 0.5. So that's how we're starting off the day. If you guys haven't signed up to DraftKings Sportsbook yet, do it by clicking on the link below. And the offer they have going right now is when you place your first $5 money line bet, it does pay out $150 if that team wins, no matter what the odds are on that game. So the biggest favorite that I could find on DraftKings tonight is Toledo. In men's college basketball, they are a minus 1,700 favorite. So normally you'd have to bet $17 on Toledo just to win $1. But with this offer, a $5 bet on Toledo is going to pay out $150. So take advantage of this offer and sign up using the link below. We had this offer also yesterday. We talked about it, and I had the Cleveland Cavaliers as a money line pick. They ended up winning, so you guys signed up and you used the Cleveland Cavaliers as your pick, you would have made $150. You want to try it out again here with Toledo? Just take advantage of the offer. Sign up by using the link below for DraftKings Sportsbook, but also keep in mind that if you or anybody that you know has a gambling problem, call or text the number 1-800-GAMBLER. So just a second ago, we were talking about Chris Paul, and I was talking about how I think he's going to lose out on some usage going forward because Devin Booker is back and Booker is totally healthy now. And that's what's going to be the case. There's going to be less touches for Chris Paul. He's going to have less shot opportunities. He's not hitting as many threes. But on the other side, I think Devin Booker himself is being a little bit undervalued. The over-under for points on Booker is 24.5. We have him projected for 27.2 over on our projections over at Stokastic.com. That's via our prop betting model, NBA Bet Pro. If you guys want access to that, 1 week for free, clicking on the link below. But Devin Booker at 24.5, this just looks like a low points prop for him, considering that for the season, Booker averages 26.6 points per game, and he has a great matchup tonight against the Kings. So now I know a lot of people might look at the box score for Booker and think, yeah, well, is he really playing full minutes? I think he is. Last game, we got 26 minutes out of Devin Booker, and I know a lot of people are going to be concerned by that, but look a little deeper at these numbers. Booker picked up 4 personal fouls. He got into foul trouble. His first game back, he picked up 5 personal fouls. So fouls have been an issue for Booker's first couple games back from injury. But another thing, too, Booker also, that game was a blowout against the Pacers. The starters didn't really play all that much in the fourth quarter. If the game was competitive and if Booker didn't get into foul trouble, I think he was on pace to play north of 30 minutes in that spot. And if you look at the numbers for Booker this year, he averages 26.6 points per game in 34 minutes. Now his points prop is 24.5. He has a great matchup against the Kings, which should boost that normal scoring average from him. Booker's looked great since coming back from injury, and I think we're going to get the minutes tonight. So Devin Booker over 24.5 points. That's my next prop bet. My final bet of the day, it is Fred VanVleet for under 3.5 threes. And I like Fred VanVleet. He's played much better in the second half of the season. Or I shouldn't even say the second half of the season. I should say, because we're not quite at the All-Star break yet, but he's playing much better in recent games than he did at the start of the season. But I still don't think that warrants a 3.5 threes prop. And if you look at VanVleet for the year, his usage is down a little bit compared to previous years. This year, 23.2%. Last year was 23.8%. The year before was 25%. So part of that probably comes with him getting older. But another thing, too, is VanVleet averages 3 threes per game. I just don't know how you ever set him with an over-under of 3.5 threes without any kind of juice, or at least any kind of significant juice on the under in this spot, because Fred VanVleet has played in 49 games this year, and he has had 3 or less threes in 30 out of those 49 games. So far more frequently than not, we're seeing him fall short of this number. And then also, not that this is the end-all be-all, but the Raptors did add a little bit of depth at the All-Star break. They added Jakob Poeltl, and I think that should help to somewhat lessen the workload of Fred VanVleet. Not in a significant way, but maybe just some less games where he's not playing like the 40 minutes that Nick Nurse will give him from time to time, as the Raptors have more opportunities to play some bigger lineups here or there. But either way, 3.5 threes is just a massive number for Fred VanVleet. He's a good three-point shooter. He's making 3 threes per game. That's not quite the 4 that he would need to hit the over on this. So my final bet of the night, Fred VanVleet, under 3.5 threes. So recapping today's bets, we got 3 of them on the board. Chris Paul under 1.5 threes, Devin Booker over 24.5 points, and then finally, Fred VanVleet for under 3.5 threes. Let me know what you guys think about these bets below in the comment section. But also, before you leave, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Good luck. Let's keep our hot streak going, and I'll be right back here tomorrow with more of our bets.